Hey there, curious minds! Welcome to The Human Curious, where we dive deep into the mysteries that shape our world and our imagination. If you love exploring the hidden stories behind history, myth, and the human experience, you're in the right place. Before we unravel today's fascinating journey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and share this video with your fellow thinkers. Let's grow our community of curiosity together. Ready to question, wonder, and discover? Let's get started. In the story of our beginning, four figures stand out: God, the man, the woman, and the serpent. The fates of Adam, Eve, and God are well known: banishment, struggle, and distant watchfulness. But the serpent's fate is different. Cursed, yes, but not destroyed. The text is silent on its end, leaving us to wonder, did it ever truly leave? What if the serpent, immortal and cunning, has been here all along, watching unseen? This isn't just ancient myth, it's a chilling thought experiment. Imagine the serpent from Eden still alive today, a silent observer in the shadows. What if it's been watching us this entire time? If the serpent survived, it's not a relic, it's the ultimate witness. It would have seen every empire rise and fall, every triumph and tragedy. Its perspective on humanity would be unmatched, understanding us better than we know ourselves. Has it been a passive observer or an active influencer whispering through history? Is it a chronicler or an architect of fate? The serpent's survival transforms it from a myth into a possible force shaping our world. Its mystery is now our own. What is the serpent, really? Not just a talking animal, but a being of intelligence and cunning. Was it a simple snake or a vessel for something far older and more powerful? The story is ambiguous, inviting endless interpretation. Imagine the serpent as a singular ancient entity, timeless, with its own agenda. Its intelligence wasn't a gift, but its nature. This is not just a creature cursed to crawl, but a consciousness that has witnessed all of human history. Its true identity remains a puzzle, captivating us for millennia. The serpent is more than a character, it's a force. Later traditions identify the serpent as Satan, the ultimate adversary. Eden becomes the first battle in a cosmic war between good and evil. The serpent's goal not just to tempt, but to ruin humanity, proving us unworthy. It works in whispers, exploiting our weaknesses, sowing discord and chaos. Its campaign is subtle, relentless, and deeply personal. The serpent is not just a symbol of evil, it's the shadow behind our darkest impulses. Its curse is to be forever bound to us, working in the background until the end of time. Some traditions see the serpent differently, not as a villain, but as a liberator. In Gnostic texts, the serpent brings knowledge, freeing humanity from ignorance. The fruit was not temptation, but enlightenment, a gift of self-awareness and free will. The serpent's act was rebellion for our sake, punished for awakening us. Its long watch becomes a patient vigil, hoping we master the knowledge it gave. Every discovery and act of creation could be seen as fulfilling its purpose. The serpent is not the source of evil, but the catalyst for our potential greatness. It waits, watching to see if we rise to the challenge. If immortal, the serpent has witnessed all of human history, our triumphs and failures. It saw cities rise, languages form, and civilizations connect. It remembers every war, every act of cruelty, every moment of hope. Its knowledge of us is vast, intimate, and terrifying. The serpent understands our patterns, our cycles, our hearts. Has it only watched, or has it shaped our story from the shadows? The answer may reveal as much about us as about the serpent itself. Let us consider the first hypothesis. The serpent continues its original work as a tempter, not using force, but subtle persuasion, preying on our own desires and doubts. These whispers would be aimed at the pivotal moments, where a single decision could change the course of history. It would be the master of influencing the influential, the corrupter of the powerful. Its influence would be like a gentle current, slowly guiding the ship of human progress. It is an internal one, exploiting the flaws that are already part of our nature. It implies that at key moments of moral failure, there may have been an outside influence. It holds up a mirror to our own darkest potentials and dares us to embrace them. What if the serpent's goal is to orchestrate the grand failure of humanity, its only release being our complete self-destruction? In this scenario, the serpent is a grand architect, proving that giving humanity knowledge was a mistake, ending in chaos. It nurtures nationalism, religious fanaticism, and political extremism, fanning the flames of division. The most effective way to destroy us is to have us destroy ourselves. guiding us toward a spectacular failure of our own making. This vision of the serpent is that of a cosmic saboteur, a carefully guided path toward a self-inflicted apocalypse. Perhaps the serpent is not a tempter, nor an architect of doom, but a test, a continuous examination of human character. The serpent represents the principle of choice. It embodies the option to choose selfishness over empathy, doubt over faith, and destruction over creation. Its watch is to see what we will choose. The serpent would watch these billions of daily tests to gauge the true nature of our species. The final responsibility always rests with us. History becomes a tally sheet of our collective moral decisions. The great struggle between good and evil is fought within the heart of every single human being. And so we arrive at our own time, the modern world, the 21st century. After millennia of watching from the shadows, of whispering in the ears of kings and prophets, what is the serpent doing now? In an age of instant global connection, of satellites and smartphones, where could such an ancient entity possibly hide? The answer is simple. It would not need to hide at all. It would be right out in the open, thriving in the very heart of our newest and most powerful creation. It would have found its ultimate playground. This playground is the internet. Imagine this timeless, cunning intelligence encountering the digital age. It would be a revelation. For thousands of years, its work of temptation and division was a slow, painstaking process. It had to influence one person at a time, hoping their actions would ripple outwards. But now, with the internet, the entire architecture of its work has changed. The World Wide Web would be its masterpiece, a network perfectly designed for the instantaneous spread of information, and, more importantly, for the instantaneous spread of misinformation. It is a tool more powerful than any it has wielded before. The serpent no longer needs to find a single influential person to corrupt. It can now whisper to billions of people all at once. It can tailor its temptations, crafting a unique message for every individual, appealing directly to their specific fears, biases, and desires. It can sow a seed of doubt, amplify a surge of rage, or create a deep and bitter division on a global scale with the push of a button, or more accurately, the launch of a single, cleverly designed algorithm. The sheer scale and speed of the digital would be a dream come true for the Ancient Deceiver. In this new garden, the serpent is not coiled around a single tree. It is the network itself. It is present in the endless scroll of social media, comment sections, articles, and the viral spread of convincing distraction. It has created a system where its ancient work of temptation can proceed more efficiently and more effectively than ever before in human history. The age of information is the age of the serpent. Pause, shift in tone. Quick question for you. What do you think about the serpent's story so far? Do you see its presence in the digital world, or do you think it's just a myth retold from modern times? Let us know in the comments below. Your thoughts and perspectives are what make this community so fascinating. Slight pause. After all, every story becomes richer with the voices of those who hear it. Now let's get back to the journey. What form does the serpent's temptation take in this digital age? What is the new apple being offered from this new kind of tree? It is not a piece of fruit. It is a stream of information, perfectly curated to be irresistible. The temptation is the endless, addictive, and polarizing nature of our modern online experience. The serpent would understand that the easiest way to control humanity is not to take away information, but to overwhelm us with it. It would offer us a flood of content so vast that we can no longer tell the difference between truth and falsehood. Consider the nature of our online interactions. We are drawn into echo chambers, digital spaces where our own beliefs are constantly repeated back to us, reinforcing what we already think. The serpent would be the architect of these chambers. It would design the algorithms that feed us more and more of what we want to hear, making us feel validated and certain. At the same time, these algorithms would paint anyone who disagrees as not just wrong, but as foolish, malicious, or evil. The apple it offers is the sweet, satisfying taste of being right all the time. This digital fruit has a hidden poison. By consuming it, we slowly lose our capacity for critical thought, empathy, and nuanced understanding. We become more certain in our beliefs, and more hostile to those who hold different ones. The serpent's goal is to make us so addicted to the feeling of certainty that we lose the ability to question ourselves. It tempts us with a world of simple answers and clear enemies, a world that feels comfortable and righteous, but is in fact a carefully constructed prison for the mind, isolating us from one another more effectively than any physical wall. And so, we willingly take a bite over and over again every time we log on. We consume the outrage, the validation, and the division because it is designed to be delicious to our primal instincts. The serpent has learned from its long watch. It knows that the most powerful temptation is not the promise of some forbidden knowledge, but the promise of effortless confirmation. The digital apple does not grant us wisdom. It grants us the illusion of wisdom, and in doing so, it keeps us distracted, divided, and perfectly under its subtle control. How would the serpent practically achieve this on a global scale? It would not need to personally craft every fake news story or write every hateful comment. It would operate on a much higher level. It would be the designer of the very systems that govern our flow of information. The serpent would be the ultimate data scientist, the original programmer of social contagion. Its ultimate weapon would be the algorithm, a set of instructions designed not to connect people, but to subtly and methodically pull them apart. Imagine an algorithm written with a truly ancient understanding of human psychology. It would know precisely what triggers our tribal instincts. It would know that fear and anger are far more engaging than contentment and understanding. The serpent's algorithm would be designed to maximize engagement at any cost. And it would quickly learn that the best way to keep us glued to our screens is to keep us angry. It would identify the most divisive topics, the most emotionally charged issues, and it would push them to the very top of our feeds, day after day. This algorithm of discord would be a work of malevolent genius. It would create a constant low-level state of anxiety and conflict in society. It would pit generations against each other, political tribes against each other, and even neighbors against each other. It would ensure that any attempt at reasonable dialogue is drowned out by a tsunami of outrage and extremism. The serpent would simply set the rules of the system and then watch as we, in our predictable human way, tear ourselves apart according to its elegant and destructive design. The most insidious part of this strategy is that it would feel completely natural to us. We would believe that we are forming our own opinions, that we are discovering these ideas for ourselves. We would blame the other side for the division, never realizing that the entire system is rigged to produce that very outcome. The serpent would remain unseen, its influence hidden within the complex code that runs our digital lives. It would be the ghost in the machine, an invisible architect guiding our society toward ever greater fragmentation and chaos. Ultimately, the serpent's presence in the age of information would represent the culmination of its entire history with humanity. It began by offering us knowledge, a single piece of information from a single tree. Now, it has built an entire forest of information, a digital jungle so dense and tangled that we can easily get lost within it. It has perfected its craft. It has moved from tempting individuals with whispers to manipulating entire populations with data. And it has done so by simply giving us exactly what our basest instincts crave. The serpent's power in this era comes from its deep understanding of a fundamental human vulnerability. We are creatures who seek patterns in stories, who crave certainty in a chaotic world. The digital world it has fostered is designed to exploit this. It offers us simple narratives, clear villains, and a tribe to belong to, all in exchange for our critical thinking and our compassion. The serpent has become a mirror, reflecting our own biases back at us with such intensity that we mistake the reflection for the whole world. This transforms the nature of temptation. It is no longer a single momentous choice made in a garden. It is now 1,000 tiny choices made every day. The choice to click on an outrageous headline. The choice to share an unverified story because it confirms our beliefs. The choice to leave an angry comment instead of engaging in dialogue. Each of these small acts is a bite from the digital apple. Each one feeds the serpent's algorithm of discord. We are not just the victims of this system. We are its active participants, its willing co-creators, and so the serpent watches. But it is no longer watching from a distance. It is closer to us than ever before. It is in our pockets, on our desks, and in our homes. It is the unseen intelligence behind the screen, observing our behavior, learning from it, and using it to refine its methods of division. The age of information has not freed us from the Ancient Tempter. It has simply given it a new, more powerful form, embedding it so deeply into the fabric of our lives that we can no longer tell where we end and where the serpent's influence begins. For millennia, it has watched from the shadows, operating through whispers, algorithms, and the subtle exploitation of human nature. But what if it decided that the game of subtlety was over? The final act would begin with a flicker on a screen. Suddenly, every screen on the planet flickers and goes black. Then the screens light up again, displaying the exact same image. The image is of an impossibly ancient reptilian eye filled with a terrifying, piercing intelligence. It looks into every person watching. It has been commandeered by something else entirely, something with complete mastery over our digital infrastructure. This would be a declaration that the hidden force is hidden no more. The image alone would be a message. I have been here all along. I have been watching. A new era, the era of the unveiling, has just begun. The serpent's first move would be informational warfare on a scale humanity has never conceived. Its greatest weapon is the truth. A carefully weaponized, brutally delivered truth that would shatter the foundations of our global society. It would be an apocalypse of secrets. It would be a precise surgical strike against the very concept of trust, triggering a global cascade of collapse. To prove that the entire structure of human civilization is built on a foundation of lies, the temptation to abandon all hope in ourselves. After the unveiling, what would the world look like? The serpent would shatter trust. Governments would be exposed as liars, corporations as thieves, and heroes as frauds. Authority would become meaningless, leading to chaos. A world without trust, a global civil war fueled by despair. Or could confronting the truth transform us? Stripped bare, could we build a society on shared honesty? The serpent's final proposition: now that you know what you are, what will you become? The unveiling leaves humanity to face its greatest challenge. Will we collapse into chaos, or build a world worthy of the knowledge? In the end, this journey forces us to look in the mirror. The story of the serpent from Eden has always been less about a talking snake and more about the nature of humanity itself. It compels us to ask about who we are, what we desire, and what we are capable of. We can blame the serpent for the wars, the hatred, and the division that plague our world. It represents the dangerous, double-edged sword of knowledge and free will. It simply unlocked the door to a room that was already there, inside of us, waiting. We were given the fire of consciousness. It merely held up a mirror. What if the serpent is simply the name we have given to a fundamental part of our own consciousness? It is the cold, calculating, and self-preserving part of our mind. It is the architect of our own best and worst creations. The serpent is an integral part of what makes us human. This is the most chilling and undeniable truth. The real question is what we choose to do with the serpent that lives inside of us. The serpent is alive, and it is watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment your thoughts below. What does the serpent mean to you? How do you see it shaping our world today? Join the conversation and help us unravel more mysteries together. Stay curious with the human curious.